Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from the unreal to the real. Lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. The topic selected for today is seeing God everywhere. Our idea of God evolves as we evolve spiritually. Sri Ramakrishna says there are three types of devotees. The inferior devotee, the lowest rank of devotees, will say, God is up there, and they point to the sky, to heaven. The mediocre devotee thinks God dwells in the heart as the inner controller. And the highest, the superior devotee, has the conviction that God alone has become everything. All the things that we perceive in this world are so many forms of God. The scriptures and the great teachers tell us again and again that God is present in everything and everywhere. The whole universe is nothing but God or Brahman. For example, Ishavasyamidam starts with the mantra, Ishavasyamidam Sarvam et kinja jagatyan jagat. All this is pervaded. Whatever is there, moving and unmoving, is pervaded by the Lord. Then there is another Upanishadic statement, Sarvam Khalidam Brahma. All this is verily Brahman. Now, if we look at Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna conveys this message in so many ways. To give a few examples, one he says, Maya tadamidam sarvam jagata avyakta murtina. All this world is pervaded by me, the unmanifested being. When you say all this world is pervaded by me, and we say Sri Krishna is saying, how can Sri Krishna pervade the whole universe? Immediately he adds, the unmanifested being. Then again, the Gita we see, his hands and feet are everywhere. His eyes and mouth grasp everything. His face is in all directions. He is the transcendent spirit, enveloping all that exists in the world. Shankaracharya says, no matter what a deluded man may think he is perceiving, he is really seeing Brahman and nothing else but Brahman. In the delusion, we may think we are seeing different things. We are seeing people, we are seeing animals, trees, but according to Shankaracharya, it's because of delusion. He is really seeing Brahman and nothing but Brahman. And let's see what Swami Vivekananda says in one place. Brahman, the God of Vedanta, has nothing outside of himself, nothing at all. All this indeed is he. He is in the universe. He is the universe himself. He is here. Him we see and feel. In him we live and move and have our being. He manifests himself as it were in this universe. All this is saying just to say that everything is God. It's not just confined to Hinduism, this idea. We have the 10th century Sufi mystic Junaid saying about people who has realized the unity of existence. He says, wherever they go from God. Wherever they arrive at God. Whatever they do for God. Whatever service they perform it in God. So all this show that the idea is in all religion. There is nothing but God. Well, if God is everything and in everywhere, as told by these great teachers, enlightened teachers, why don't we see God? We are not seeing God. We are seeing an infinite variety. We are seeing men and women, animals, birds, trees, plants, rivers, mountains. So where is God? How can we say everything is God? We see all this variety. If you look at science, physics tells us that there is nothing called matter. Everything is energy. In its different manifestations, they appear as matter. But we don't argue with the scientists, with the science saying and deny the fact, saying that I don't see energy. So how can it be energy? I see matter. I see the concrete table. I see the paper. But I don't see energy. We don't argue. We accept it. Because we know if you use the proper instruments and with proper training, we can see the effects and measure the effects of that energy in different forms. The same with spirituality also. We need proper training, proper instruments, and with proper training, using those proper instruments, we can realize that everything is nothing but God. And what's the instrument? There's one difference between science and spirituality. In science, we had to get the instrument. Whereas in spirituality, this experiment, we have got the instrument with us. Everybody has got the instrument, our own mind. That's the instrument that we have, but we need training, that's all. Through proper training, if we can tune the instrument, purify our mind, we'll be able to see the presence of God in everything and everywhere. The purified mind will be able to see the presence of God in everything and everywhere. And then those people who have that experience, they will say they have got the divine eyes. They are seeing God everywhere. Divya Chakshu, as Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, when Arjuna wanted to see the divine form of the Lord, Krishna told him, with your physical eyes, you can't see that. I'll give you divine eyes. With divine eyes, we will be seeing God everywhere. And to get the divine eyes, the mind has to be purified. And now we are seeing all this multiplicity of things, changing things, not the unchanging background reality, the substratum. And the Vedanta says we see this multiplicity because of our ignorance. So we fail to see this table, the paper, the chair as Brahman. We see all these concrete things because of our ignorance. But they are actually, essentially they are Brahman. And Sri Ramakrishna used to say the whole purpose of spiritual practices is to be able to see Brahman in all things, everywhere. So how are we to do then? We are asked to try to imagine first. Imagine that everything is Brahman. In course of time, if you continue the practice, that imagination becomes a reality. At present, we are hypnotized to see the variety. Hypnotized to believe that we are limited human beings and we are seeing all this variety. When we dehypnotize ourselves, then we realize that we are nothing but Brahman and there is nothing else but Brahman in this whole universe. Now, if you say everything is Brahman, all right, God is present in everybody, it is easy to accept the presence of God, or not really easy, but comparatively easier to accept the fact that God is present in all the good things. Yes, in a good person, a virtuous person, a kind person, and good things, there is the presence of God. But how can we say God is present in the wicked, the tyrant, the cheat, the robber, the murderer? Is God present there also? Sri Ramakrishna says, God is present in the tiger. God is present in the tiger also. But that doesn't mean that you go and embrace the tiger. You keep your distance. God is present in the wicked, but you may be intimate only with good people. Keep your distance from the wicked ones. The effulgence of God is covered by the thick veil of evil tendencies, evil thoughts and deeds. So the presence is not revealed. But God is never absent. God is present in everyone. Swami Prabhavananda was in the Vedanta Center in Hollywood. And one day he was asked a question. If God is present in everyone, how does one explain people like Hitler? Do you mean to say that God is present in Hitler also? Look at Swami's reply. God dwells everywhere. God dwells in the heart of the tiger too. But that doesn't mean that you have to hug the tiger. It's like this. Then he gives an example. The self-luminous sun is shining, but rain clouds have gathered, and it seems to us the sun has disappeared. Actually, the clouds have not affected the luminosity of the sun. It continues to shine behind the clouds. And even that rain clouds we see because of the sun shining behind it. If the sun is not shining, then we wouldn't even see the dark clouds. Similarly, God dwells in Hitler too and remains unaffected by the thoughts and deeds of the man. Whatever the person does, God is not affected. God present in that person is not affected. Just like the sun is not affected by the clouds covering it. However, the man reaps the fruits of his karma, actions, the consequences of his thoughts and deeds. We have to reap and suffer. Maybe through such suffering, his character will be purified, and in some life, he will wake and realize his divinity. At present, it's completely covered. But maybe through suffering, in some future life, we'll realize that God is present there. Then he gives, just to explain that further, we can look at another example. Suppose we keep a beautiful flower in front of a mirror. If the mirror is clean, clear, you get a beautiful, exact reflection of the flower. But if the mirror is cracked, if the mirror is completely broken and full of dust, you won't get a clear image. You will get a very distorted image of the flower. But does that affect the flower? Whether you get the mirror shows a clean, clear image or a cracked, a distorted image, the flower remains the same. Flower is not affected. So similarly, whether the person is good or bad, the divinity, God, presence of God within is not affected by that. And when the image is cracked, distorted, we say that person is wicked. When we get a clear image, we say the person is good. And who decides what is good and bad? It's all relative. What is good for me may be bad for you. And what's good for me now, at another time, it's bad for me. So it's all good and bad is completely relative. You cannot say something is good for all times and something is bad for all times. It's completely relative. It changes. In the life of Sri Ramakrishna, we see that he saw the presence of God in everything and everywhere. It was a daily experience for him. When we study his life, we can see when he was worshipping as a Kali temple, he says he saw everything is full of consciousness. The utensils of worship, the articles of worship kept there, and the room, the door, everything is full of pure consciousness. And not just the image, everything is full of consciousness. So which one, where is the difference of worshipping? So he started worshipping everywhere. He says he started putting flowers on all, everywhere. Because he's seeing God everywhere, pure consciousness everywhere. It's like what Arjuna says, seeing the divine form of Krishna. Arjuna says in the Gita, we can see, salutations to you, the all formed. Salutations to you before. Salutations to you behind. Salutation to you on every side. He's seeing the divine everywhere. So everywhere he's saluting. When Sri Ramakrishna was trying to explain to Narendra that everything is Brahman, he didn't believe. How can he? Everything is Brahman. Everything. We see all these different variety. How can you say everything is Brahman? And he, after hearing Sri Ramakrishna for some time, he got up and went outside the room, the veranda. Hazara was sitting there. And he started joking with Hazara. Look at this. This old man is saying. He used to call Sri Ramakrishna old man. Old man. He was not even 50 at that time. And if we say to anybody who is 50, old man, we will get nice, what's the strong words, or even slap perhaps. See, he says everything is Brahman. This cup is Brahman, this pot is Brahman, this glass is Brahman. And is there anything can be funny, ridiculous? How can anything be Brahman? And we are also Brahman. Everything is Brahman. How can that be? And they both of them were laughing, making fun of Sri Ramakrishna. Hearing the laughter, Sri Ramakrishna came out of the room and he asked, what are you people talking? And touched Narendra. And he said, that one touch, immediately he had the experience that everything is consciousness, everything is Brahman. He saw everything. The whole Kali temple, Hazara, Sri Ramakrishna himself, everything is Brahman. After some time, he had to go home. He went home. On the road, everything is Brahman. Went home. He sat for his meal. Mother is serving food. Mother is seeing Brahman. Food, that is Brahman. It continued, that realization, that vision or realization continued for a few days. After a few days, the intensity was reduced a little. Then he saw, as though it's everything's in dream. Nothing doesn't seem like real. Then one day he was walking along the road and there was a metal iron grill on the side of one building. He went and hit his head on that to make sure whether it is true, whether it's real or not. Everything was like a dream. Then he realized this is the Advaitic vision, seeing everything as Brahman. And for Sri Ramakrishna, it is a day-to-day experience. There's no time he didn't see God everywhere. A few months before his passing away, we see in the gospel, it's recorded, Sri Ramakrishna is telling him, my teaching is coming to an end. I cannot give any more instruction. I see that everything is God himself. And sometimes I say to myself, whom shall I teach? Everything is God, so whom to teach? I am myself with God. The people who are sitting in front of me also is God. So whom to teach? This Advaitic realization, there is no distinction between teacher and student. That's why we say in this Upanishad, there is the incident or story when Janaka went to the teacher. Sorry, Shuka went to Janaka for instructions. Shuka is the son of sage Vyasa. Sage Vyasa taught him everything. But then if the father teaches, it's not of much value unless you go to another teacher. The same thing maybe the teacher will telling, but it's teacher. And it is here, its father is always father. So Vyasa sent him to King Janaka. It's interesting, isn't it? Say the son of a sage sent to a king to learn the knowledge of Brahman, because Janaka is known as knower of Brahman. And Janaka said, first give me the fee, teacher's fee. Why? Teacher's fee is given after the instruction. When you finish the course, then you give the fees. Then Janaka said, once you have this realization, there's no distinction between, you don't see the teacher, you don't see the student, everything is Brahman. So whom to give the fees? First give me the fees. Because unless you pay the fee to the teacher, the instruction or the learning, the instruction that you receive from the teacher won't be completely fruitful. So you have to pay the fee to the teacher. But first pay the fee. Then everything is Brahman. That's what Sri Ramakrishna is saying. So I sometimes say to myself, whom shall I teach? A few weeks after this incident, or this saying, after a night of great suffering, Sri Ramakrishna is saying, do you know what I see right now? I see that it is God himself who has become all this. It seems to me that men and other beings, other living beings, are made of leather, and that it is God himself who, dwelling inside these leather cases, moves the hands, the feet, and the heads. We are all leather cases, and God dwelling inside is moving the hands, feet, and heads. It's just like what Sri Krishna says in the Gita, Ishara sarva bhutanam hridde syorjana tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. The Lord dwells in the heart of all beings, revolving them by his mysterious power of Maya, as if they were objects mounted on a machine. Now, to reach this stage of realization, you have to do a lot of spiritual practices. It's not just by reading some instructions or hearing. No, you won't get that realization. You have to do a lot of spiritual practices, maybe for many lives, perhaps. That is why in the Gita, Sri Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ande jnanavan mam prapadyade vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. At the end of many births, the person of wisdom takes refuge in me, realizing that Vasudeva, God, is all that is. Such great souls are rare indeed. After many lives of spiritual struggles, when one is completely free from egoism, when one has taken refuge in God, then one gets this realization that God is everything. Once Sri Ramakrishna wanted to bless his young disciples with whatever spiritual desires they had. So he told, what do you want? What sort of realizations you people want? So some of them asked for devotion, some asked for knowledge, some asked for liberation. Young Sharat, who later became Swami Sharadananda, kept quiet. So Sri Ramakrishna asked, what sort of vision would you like to have? What form of God would you like to see vision in your meditation? Sharat said, I do not want to see any particular form of God in meditation. I want to see him in all beings. I do not like visions. I want to see God in everything. Sri Ramakrishna said with a smile, that's the last word in spiritual attainment. You cannot have it all at once. And then Sharat said, but I won't be satisfied with anything short of that. I shall strive my best until I am able to attain that. That was his idea, to see God in everything. He said, I won't be satisfied with anything short of that. I want that only. Then Sri Ramakrishna was very pleased. And at last he blessed him, saying that, yes, you will attain it. And towards the end of his life, you can see, one young devotee asked Swami Sharadananda, this is Sharath, Maharaj, why do you love us so much? He kept quiet. He didn't say even any answer. After a few days, he said, yesterday I had been to Belur Math, and then when I saluted Sri Ramakrishna in the shrine, he told me, you love them because you see me in them. You love them because you see me in them. You're seeing God in everyone. So you love. Because you love God, seeing God, you love them also. This is a very supersensuous, transcendental experience. That's why Sri Krishna says such people are very rare. It's not easy. You won't see them here and there, everywhere. You cannot say all the religious teachers, gurus are such enlightened souls. They are very, very rare. Some Mahatma Sudurlabha, such great souls are very rare. That's what Sri Krishna says. And with that experience of seeing God in everywhere and in everything, the world as it appears now, of the changing fortune, can no longer throw them off balance. Whatever happens, whatever changes happens in their fortune, they won't be thrown off balance. Because they become established in God, in the consciousness of God, and find satisfaction and bliss in God alone. Now, the fact that this is the last word in spiritual attainment, and such people are very rare, then what are we to do? It's very, they say, don't get discouraged by that. Just because the destination is far away, don't we start the journey? Saying the destination is far away, if we don't start the journey, we will never reach. So we have to start from wherever we are. Start our spiritual practices. As we continue on with our practices, the mind becomes purer and purer, and we will be able to feel the presence of God more and more within ourselves and in others also. Now, to accept even intellectually that God is in everything, everywhere, in good and evil, we have to look upon all the phenomena as the manifestation of the same power. There are not that God is doing all the good things and devil is doing the bad things. No, the same power is manifesting as both good and bad. In the beautiful and the ugly, darkness and light, prosperity and poverty, all are manifestations of the same power. In the Chandi, the Devi Mahatmya, we see Ya Sri Sukrudanam Bhavaneshu Alakshmi Papatmanam. You are the good fortune in the homes of the virtuous, ill fortune in the homes of the wicked. It's a hymn to Divine Mother. You are the good fortune in the homes of the virtuous, and ill fortune or misfortune in the homes of the wicked. Both are same. Both are God. Both are the Divine Mother. So everything, good and evil, is a manifestation of the same power. It's very easy to say all these things. It's easy to say, oh, God is present in all, in the good, in the wicked, and we have to see the presence of God. But when it comes to practicing it, Then we come upon the difficulty. In the morning, I get up with the decision, I'm going to see God in all. And then after some time, somebody tells me something against what I wanted to do or what I wanted to say, or somebody calls me, you fool. Then you get so angry. What happened to seeing God there? It's all gone. Suddenly God has disappeared, and instead of God, we see a devil there, a wicked person. So what are we to do then? Vedanta says perseverance. Practice, practice, practice. First we hear about it. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Here, then hear again and again, and then think about it. Hearing just once, getting through one ear and throwing out the other won't do. Think about it, and then deeply meditate on it. Meditate on it, on these ideas, and make it your own. Swami Vivekananda says, it is thought which is the propelling force in us. Fill the mind with the highest thoughts. Hear them day after day. Think them month after month. It's not just a day. It's not a thing that will give the result in a day or two. Fill the mind with highest thoughts. Hear them day after day. Think them month after month. Then he says, never mind failures. Not that you will all will be successful straight away. We all will fail. Never mind failures. They are quite natural. They are the beauty of life, these failures. What would life be without them? Without failure, there's no fun in life. They are the beauty of life, the failures. We fail, then we start again. We fall down, get up again. The real failure comes if we stop struggling. And in the instructions of, spiritual instructions of Swami Brahman, the one thing you can see in the books, almost every page you can see, like I should say, struggle, struggle, struggle. Spiritual life is not easy. It's a constant struggle. Struggle, struggle, struggle. Only with struggle. Life itself is struggle. With struggle, we overcome. And so we fail. Why are we struggling? Because we fail. Failures happen, but we start again. We fail to see the presence of God. We forgot. We got angry. We got upset. Even come to blows. Then remember, oh, I forgot to see. Remember that God is present in that person also, as in me. First, we had to realize the presence of God within us. Only then we can see the presence of God in others. We forget that. The ego comes up and pushes that idea. We failed. Doesn't matter. Remember and do again. Along with that, we have to do service to our fellow beings. That's another way. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Hear about it, meditate, think about it, meditate on it, and assimilate it along with that. So meditation, prayer, repetition of the name of God, all that is spiritual practices. Along with that, service to fellow human beings. That also helps in having this idea become deeper and deeper in our mind that God is present in all. Swami Vivekananda says, after so much tapasya, that's austerities, I have understood this as the highest truth. God is present in every being. There is no other God beside that. He who serves all beings serves God indeed. God is present in all. So when we serve people, whom are we serving? We are serving God. He says that he understood after So much of tapasya, so much of austerities, he has come to the realization. So it needs a lot of spiritual practices. This idea we see in the Gita also. Shri Krishna says, Yada pravartir bhutanam ena sarvamidam tadam swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. From whom all beings are emanated, and by whom all this universe is pervaded. By worshipping him through the dedicated performance of one's duty, man attains spiritual competency. It's not that to do spiritual practices, to have this realization, you have to leave everything, go to a forest or mountain cave. No. Be in the world, do your duties. See? From whom all beings have emanated, and by whom all this universe is pervaded. By worshipping him through the dedicated performance of one's duty. Whatever your duty, do it as worship of God. Man attains spiritual competency. So we are asked to worship the all-pervading Lord through our work, through our duty. Whatever duty we have, Swadharma, our duty. At present, what is the we are supposed to do it? That's our duty. But there is one condition Shri Krishna has put again and again, without attachment, without looking for the results, because you are doing worshipping the Lord. Without being attached to the results of the action, just perform your duty. And that is the worship of the Lord. And through that, you reach the highest spiritual competency. There is no difference in occupation. Whether you are, whatever the work you are doing, it's all worship of God. Whether you are cleaning, whether you are working in the office, whether you are doing the ritualistic worship, whatever be the occupation, everything is worship of God. There is no difference. As far as the spiritual content is concerned, spiritual value is concerned, there is no difference in work. Everything is worship of God. When we have that idea, then we can say like Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya said, my enjoyments I look upon as offering made unto you. My sleep is a form of meditation on you. My wanderings are circumambulations, while my speech are prayers offered to you. When I go around the city, or the town, doing my daily work, whatever is to be done, attending to the duties, I'm going around you, circumambulating you. When I'm talking with somebody, I'm offering prayers to you. When I'm eating, I'm offering oblations to you. When I'm sleeping, I'm meditating on you. So every act becomes worship of God. And this is the idea behind the philanthropic and humanitarian activities of the Ramakrishna order. Service of man, looking upon him as the veritable manifestation of God. There is no God other than man. Swami Vivekananda wrote, from highest Brahman to the yonder worm and to the very minutest atom, everywhere is the same God, the all love. Friend, offer mind, soul, body at their feet. These are his manifold forms before thee. Rejecting them, where seekest thou for God? Who loves all beings without distinction, he indeed is worshipping best his God. He who loves all beings without distinction, he is worshipping best his God. This idea he repeated again and again in his lectures. Seeing, worshipping God, service man is worship of God. In his lecture in Rameswaram, when he came back from the West, there's a famous lecture in Rameswaram, he says, he who sees Rameswaram is famous for the Shiva temple there, and he says, he who sees God he who sees Shiva in the idol and worship the Lord, his idol is secondary, inferior. But he who sees Shiva in the poor, in the suffering, and help them, serve them, his worship is the highest worship. This is the idea he was trying to put us to people again and again. Serve humanity, seeing the presence of God. When you serve, your ego has to take a back seat. You're putting that person front. And it's not that as ordinarily we think, oh, I stand on a high pedestal and look down on the people whom I'm serving. That's not service. When it is real service, the person who is receiving the service, the receiver stands on a high pedestal, and the giver, Swamiji says, let the giver kneel down and thank the receiver for giving that opportunity to serve you. You have to be thankful for the poor, that poor person is there for me to serve, so that I can worship the Lord present in that person. So where do we start then? How do we start seeing God? They say, first start imagining the presence of God in someone whom you love most. A lady devotee came to Sri Ramakrishna and said, I can't meditate. I try to meditate, but it's not, my meditation is not proper. Get disturbed, distracted. Sri Ramakrishna asked, why? Oh, the thought of my little nephew comes to me all the time. I have adopted the nephew. Sri Ramakrishna said, no problem. Think that child is God. Think of that child as God, the little Gopala, the baby Krishna, and serve. Whatever you are doing for the child, you imagine that you are actually serving Lord Krishna in that form, baby Krishna. And the book says that after a few years' time, the devotee was actually seeing the presence of God in that child, has progressed, advanced a lot in her spiritual life. So we are asked to try to imagine, because at present we are not able to see, but try to imagine. Even imagination, it's a great effort. So try to imagine the presence of God in something or someone whom we love, and then in another, and then slowly increase, go on like that. And as we go on imagining, gradually it becomes a reality, not just mere imagination. And remember, as Swamiji said, don't worry about failures. We are sure to fail. We imagine, and then after some time we forget. And we think that person is mine. No, it's God. God is God. That person is not mine. It's God. God is there. It's God. The presence of God is there. So let us persevere and never mind the failures. You are sure to fail, but never mind the failures. Let's continue. Well, when we fail, we will start once more. That's all. Then, as Shri Krishna says, after many births, we are sure to reach the goal. Because as Sri Ramakrishna says in the Gospel, that in Mother Annapurna's temple in Benares, everybody gets food. Whoever goes to Annapurna is goddess of food. Mother is in the form of who is serving food all the time. So everybody will get food. But some will get in the morning, some will get late in the evening, some may be getting late at night, but everybody will get food. That means what he's trying to say is everyone will have the realization. But whether you get soon or later, in this life or after many lives, depends upon us, how much effort we put in, how much sincerity we have, how much earning we have, that's all. So it's all up to us, whether we want to see the presence of God in all And how soon we see that? We will see. One day or other will happen. But how, when is that one day going to take place? That's up to us. Thank you.
We have the yoga class this Thursday from 10 to 11:15 a.m. The fortnightly Bhagavad Gita discussion will be this Friday night, led by Gayatriprana from 7:30. And next Sunday, the next special series of talks on the Upanishads by Sri Dharapanaji, in particular the Kena Upanishad. And that'll be comprised of 4 monthly talks to take us through the whole of the Kena Upanishad. That'll be next Sunday. The following Sunday, the 27th, please note for our members, we've got the AGM. That will be starting around 2 p.m. or so. So if ideally come for the talk, stay for lunch, and then after lunch we'll have the AGM. And now we'll conclude with listening to a guided meditation by Rev.Pravrajika Ajayaprana Mataji.
The rishis of Samaveda sing. Listen to the melodious music of the divine poet. He plays upon the flute of love. The notes soar to high heavens and reach the distant stars. They dance on the raging waves of the sea. The earth, the sea, the sky, the stars are all woven together by the soft strains of the divine music. Its vibrations echo through the corridors of time in the endless canopy of the sky. That same music is ringing through every part of our body. The divine light of cosmic intelligence, which is of golden radiance and sweet resonance, descends from its infinite abode to inspire us when we invoke its presence in our meditation. O Lord of divine light and silent peace, mayest thou accept the praises recited in silence by our hearts in the voiceless language of our yearning and love. Let us try to feel the stream of divine consciousness that is flowing gently and quietly, silently and smoothly through our veins. The light of supreme intelligence is shining in our intellect and illumining the pathway of our nerves and vital powers. The auspicious music accompanying the dance of the cosmic spheres is reverberating through our senses and organism in the celestial rhythmic flow. Awake, O sleeping beauty of my soul, the time of slumber and darkness is over. The storm and thunder of the night of ignorance and forgetfulness has passed away. The bright and glorious dawn of wisdom is appearing within the heart to lead us from triumph to triumph. along the long illumined path of life. Let us tell ourselves, we have reached the safe harbor of our real source, the sweet shores of perpetual purity, the quiet land of undisturbed peace, which is our real home. We had strayed away long and far into the turbulent unrealities of ephemeral pleasures and the dark whirlpools of worldly attractions. Today, in these few moments of quietness, let us try to relax, collect ourselves, and feel the presence of our inner soul. Let us try to see the limitless ocean of the blue waters of the cosmic heart, pulsating within us. Look closely. It is there. The large expansive stretches of the blue waters of the cosmic heart. We are a part and parcel of the cosmos. So the cosmic heart, the limitless expanse of the blue waters, are there within our heart. It is resplendent with a silver radiance. See the surface of the water? Shining with a silver radiance because of the presence of divinity hidden inside the heart. Just that. We are not puny little human beings. We carry the infinite cosmic heart within us. The heart that is pulsating within us is in tune with the rhythm of the cosmic heart. Feel the expanse of infinity within and around us. Forget the limitations of the body. That is a transparent covering. We are within and without. The glittering, shining, resplendent waters of the cosmic heart are slowly pulsating, gently moving inside us and outside us. We are one with that. That is our real nature. These limitations of individuation, personalized form, are but imagination. We are infinite. Just feel the flow of strength rushing through every part of the body, which can stand as a balance between the infinity inside and the infinity outside. We are revived and renewed with the tremendous energy of infinite divinity. Just let us try to feel ourselves light, not heavy, just floating in the infinite shining blue waters of cosmic dimensions. It's all still, peaceful, quiet, silent. God is silence, and in silence we can experience God. There is silence inside you. There is silence outside you. Feel the silence. Give up all limitations. We are infinite. Hari Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.